so let's read passage 50 as it should be read with punctuation, and then you can stop tape and make your corrections. While Olivia's spirits were raised a lot by Feste's jesting, the humorless and haughty Malvolio was not amused. This pompous and arrogant fool maintained that the jester was a weak man, weak as his wit. All right, guys, we're back. Here are the conventions of grammar you're going to be looking for as you complete this paragraph. So you need to start a new paragraph at the beginning because the narrator is speaking. For commas, you're going to use a comma to introduce a subordinate clause. And you'll use a comma for a series of adjectives that modify just one noun. You want to think about the difference between raise and rise, because when you use the word raise, it's talking about raising an object, like we raise the flag. But the word rise is only used when I do it. So I rise, or you rise, or all rise and honor the judge as he comes in. All rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance, but the subject is actually rising, where when you use the word raise, you're doing something to another object. You're raising it. I'm raising my cell phone. Okay, so also notice that a lot should always be two words. And in this passage, and this isn't something that I think we've done before, but I know you guys often make air quotes because sometimes we use quotations to show sarcasm or double meaning. So go find those changes. Rewrite your passage as perfectly as you can, and then we'll come back together and we'll check your changes. Okay, so get that rewritten. You can pause while you do that. And then now let's check your changes. So as we start this, we know we're starting a new paragraph and a new sentence, so we're going to capitalize that first word. We know that the narrator is talking here. We can tell while Olivia's spirits were raised a lot by Feste's jesting, the humorless and haughty Malvolio was not amused. So also I'm going to notice that this right here is a subordinate conjunction. A subordinate conjunction, an on a white bus word, which tells me, and it's at the beginning of the sentence, so it tells me I've got to find the end of this clause and I've got to put a comma there. So while Olivia's spirits, there's my subject, here's a helping verb, and here is an action verb. While Olivia's spirits, we need an apostrophe here to show possession. Whose spirits were they? Olivia's. We're going to capitalize Olivia. We're going to make a lot two words, so it should be a lot. Okay. Olivia's spirits were raised a lot. What were raised? Her spirits. How were they raised? By Feste's jesting. And so there's the end of that clause. So while Olivia's spirits were raised a lot by Feste's jesting, and I need an apostrophe here to show whose jesting it was Feste's, right? The humorless and haughty Malvolio was not amused. Now, as a literary device, not only was he not amused, this implies that he was angered or disgusted with Feste's jesting. So this is what we call understatement. Understatement, and it emphasizes just how unhappy Malvolio was. Understatement. That emphasizes just how unhappy Malvolio was with this situation. He does not like Feste at all, and he has no sense of humor. So he was not amused. Now, we're starting a new paragraph, so we're going to, not a new paragraph. We're starting a new sentence, so we're going to capitalize this. This pompous, and we said pompous and haughty have similar meanings. Haughty means that you just really literally have a shameless superiority complex. You think that you're better than everyone else. Pompous just is prideful action where you make a lot of to do over yourself. So they're slightly different but very similar. This pompous and arrogant fool. Now, remember, we're playing with this word fool. We've looked at it in several different contexts. Feste called Lady Olivia a fool. We noted that in some passages it was capitalized to show that it was Feste's title. And here, the narrator is calling Malvolio a fool. And so we're going to put that in quotes. It's sort of to show that it has a double meaning. A double meaning. He's not really a court jester. He's just silly. He's just a silly person. So this pompous and arrogant fool maintained that the jester was a weak man. Now this is where the literary device anadiplosis comes into play. Here you can see he was a weak man, and then weak is repeated, and that's called anadiplosis. The author does it for emphasis. Weak as his wit. And we can also see there's some alliteration going on here. Weak, weak, weak. 3 W's. Is there another place in the passage where you see alliteration? Oh, you sure do. There it is. Humorless and haughty. So the repetition of initial consonant sounds, that's alliteration. All right, everyone, please email me or text me on Google Classroom with any questions you have. If you will actually post them to the thread on Google Classroom under this week's passages, that'll help us to keep it all in one place and we'll know what your questions are. So I hope you've enjoyed this and I wish you luck tomorrow. Make sure that you get online and do Quizlet and possibly Kahoot. I might have another game for you, but make sure you tune in and look for the game so we can all play and practice together.